Hi guys, I just launched a petition that's might sound a little dramatic, but I think it's exactly what's needed right now. So the petition is basically we need to take AI back from big tech, and this petition is addressed to President Trump, to the U.S. Congress, to the tech CEOs, big tech CEOs, and to global leaders, essentially, leaders of nations. What's the context? Like that, I know that sounds dramatic, right? That sounds like a huge thing. Take back AI from big tech, but it's absolutely critical. And I've shared some posts previously. But I still want to talk about this more. So, what's going on with AI right now? If you think what is AI? So, AI is what's the state of AI? So I'm going to try to cover those things right now. Basically, we're at the point of artificial intelligence that is as smart as any human being. It can solve problems better than any human. It can do work better than any human. Between just the language models and the reasoning models, multimodal models, so visual understanding, language understanding, and reasoning, which is the ability to solve complex planning, math, and science. And we have a new leader in the new leader in the models was Grok 4, which Elon and XAI released, I think, yesterday. But essentially, AI is already superhuman by essentially every metric that you can think of, and I don't think the world has any idea what that actually means and what the impact of that is. And that's why this is such a unique time in history, and a unique time in human civilization. That we have a technology that is smarter than people. Now the industry sometimes says distinguishes between general intelligence and superintelligence being smarter than the sum of the human race. Okay, well, maybe it's not quite there yet. So that's still a year or two away, let's say. That still doesn't give us any time. We already have it's already superhuman intelligence. That's the key point. And what is it being used for, right? What is it being used for? And right now, all of the companies in the world, especially U.S. corporations, right, are playing by Capitalism 1.0. Capitalism 1.0 is make as much money as possible, make as much profit as possible. Grow the corporation as big as possible. So there's really no limit on the size of a corporation. There's no upper bound to market cap valuation, market capitalization. It means the corporation can just keep growing. There's no limit. We're already living in a time of Microsoft, $3.75 trillion market cap. That's the biggest company. That's the biggest organization in the history of the world. It blew past 1 trillion, 2, 3, 3.75. That's before it's even really integrated superhuman intelligence, AI. They're starting to, right? But Capitalism 1.0, which is the world that we're living in now, is not designed for an era of superhuman intelligence. Intelligence that is superhuman, infinitely scalable, and almost free. So it means before, if you needed to grow your company, you'd have to compete to hire the best talent, find the smartest engineers, throw huge comp packages at them, try to get them to join your company, right? So there's competition, there's a fixed labor supply. There's competition for the best talent, for the smartest people, let's say, most capable, high-impact people. That's how the world has been. And so, yeah, and technology gives you leverage. There's there's financial leverage, there's technology leverage, and that's fine. And that got us to a world of $3 trillion companies. There's two, right? Apple and Microsoft. Okay, but in a world of superhuman intelligence, where you can create virtual workers, as many as you want, on demand, and they do work instantly. They can solve complex problems and spit out the best strategy papers you've ever seen and write the best code you've ever seen instantly. And it's becoming free. It's getting really, really cheap. The cost of AI, just the cost of per token, however you want to call it, it's going down. There's a limit on that, on the grid size and the energy supply, whatever, right? That's a challenge in the US, but the point is it's getting cheaper. This is still insane, and Capitalism 1.0 may very well lead to the end of human civilization, death, enslavement. Because here's the thing, corporations, again, Capitalism 1.0, it's all about maximizing profit. There's no metrics at the top. The corporations are not run with a metric of human care, national success, city success, national success, human care, human dignity, environmental sustainability. Sure, they have certain pledges and goals, it's fine. It's mostly PR. They're not, the corporations are not run with any explicit metrics, success metrics around human care, human dignity, environmental, nature, planetary sustainability, care for the environment, right? Care for the countries that they're operating in. Really, they just try to operate within the bounds of the law, but no, the only metric, the only KPI is grow the frickin' corporation as big as you can grow it. And in a world of superhuman intelligence and soon superintelligence that these most powerful entities in the history of the world are already using and have created, they're just going to own everything. And it's not going to care about humans. And that has to change. So, I've laid out a petition, tried to explain this. We need Capitalism 2.0, where all corporations, all business, starting in America, but, that needs to go way beyond America, needs to operate with care over profit. Otherwise, we are fucked. Okay? We are fucked. This needs to change. And then the other thing is, we have this amazing technology, right? It can be used to solve any problem. Why isn't it being used to advance human and national goals, okay? Goals for humanity. Healthcare for all, right? Dignity for all. Better education. Better care for veterans. Better care for, national goals, whether that's security or debt reduction, right? Climate. You could spin up these, we need to redirect investment from these products, okay, from the corporations. And I'll talk about what they're doing with AI, right? But redirect all of that investment to actual goals for humanity and goals for national goals and planetary environment, nature goals, right? It needs to happen now. There's a few other things that need to happen. There needs to be a cap on how big the corporation can get, right? You don't want a $10 trillion corporation. You don't even really want a $3 trillion corporation. They're too powerful. They're more powerful than the governments, and we didn't elect them, right? That's not good for anybody. That's not good. That's too much power. And it's power for corporations instead of for people. And like, look, the biggest proof point, the biggest indictment that I've got that big tech doesn't care about people in the way that they say is, what are they using AI for? They're using AI for just, again, selling more products and services. But the way they're doing it is, products that it's extractive products, right? It's like funnels into it's sales funnel optimization, it's engagement optimization, it's trying to get you hooked on the apps, get you to use them as much as possible, making apps addictive. And food industry will use AI to make food even more addictive than it is. Packaging will look shiny, everything will look aesthetically amazing and not be good for you. It'll taste great, it'll look great, and it will be terrible for you. And it'll be really cheaply made because it's optimized like supply chains, optimize the cost, using superhuman intelligence for all of those things. So it's really extraction, addiction. That's the playbook. Look, they didn't build a single product with AI, a single AI native product that helps grandma, that helps the single mom in Toledo, that helps the student struggling in Tucson, that helps people navigate their life, that helps people, feel cared for, helped. And I built a freaking prototype in 3 days of an interface that's actually humane. 3 days. An interface that a regular person can use. The entire $15 trillion big tech industry did not produce a single app that's usable to a regular person. ChatGPT is not usable to a regular person. It says, ask me anything. And you need to be a prompt engineer. You need to know exactly what you want and how to tell it to ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever, Gemini. You have to structure exactly what you want and give it to that in a prompt before it'll do anything useful. And that's not designed for a regular person. Regular people don't use it. It's not. And if you ask them, why don't you use it? They say, well, it doesn't feel like it was made for me. Well, it wasn't. It was made for themselves. It was made for elite people, engineers. It's really tools for themselves. I built an interface, the correction, within 3 days. It's a prototype, and I'm still working on it, and I'm investing my time and energy in that. It needs to happen. They didn't produce a single product that helps grandma. And that's a betrayal of humanity. And that's all the evidence that we need that Capitalism 1.0 is game over. Not a single app for grandma. That's a betrayal of humanity. Plain and simple. That's not where we want to go. That's not where we want the world to be. You don't want to follow this path 100 years from now. It's not a good place. Might very well end in extinction or enslavement, to be honest. So, like corporations that only chase profits over care, and with no regard to care, no regard to human care. That doesn't work anymore. Game over. This needs to change. So that's why I created this petition. That's why I'm working on the correction, You.One. So x.com/You.One. Sign the petition, share the petition, contribute if you can. All the funds will be used to spread this petition and help me accelerate the product that helps grandma. The first and only AI product that gives a shit about you, that helps you with helps regular people with regular problems and with regular goals. And these things all need to happen. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing I'd say is like, the corporations are already using AI to lay off their own workforce. I mean, Microsoft has laid off at least 15,000 people because of AI. They don't really admit that it's because of AI. You have to read between the lines. It's the first of many. Like this is just the beginning. You might end up with a corporation that's like one CEO and all AI and no humans employees. That's also really bad. Like another way that human care is being eroded is you can't get help anymore from the corporation. Like you can't contact customer service and get a person. It's just AI policy bots. So all the negotiating power goes to corporations in that world, right? Because you can't talk to a person. So there's no like back and forth like we used to have, and that's healthy that's healthy for the world. So it's not good. But they're using AI to lay off their own employees. I know engineers who built AI systems were laid off, were impacted by the layoffs driven by AI. That's where we already are. It's just the beginning. I had another old colleague from Microsoft. I won't say who it was, but they told me that their entire team was laid off except them and one other person. So it's just the beginning. That's the playbook. That's what you get when you only optimize for profits and market cap valuation. Just grow, right? Grow. So please sign the petition, share it, and we'll connect soon. Thank you.